Jamie Dimon is a powerful voice. He leads JP Morgan Chase. He recently issued a warning. Dimon said, "World War III has already begun." He spoke at a meeting of financial experts. Many were shocked by his words. They wondered if he was right. Are we on the edge of a global war? Dimon sees several problems. The war in Ukraine is one. The Middle East is in turmoil. The conflict between Israel and Hamas is another. All of this points to a dangerous world. Many experts agree with Dimon. The world seems very unstable. Dimon's words should not be ignored. He is a leader in finance. He understands global trends. He sees the potential for disaster. His warning is a wake-up call. We must work to prevent a larger war. Diplomacy and careful action are essential. Dimon's words are a reminder. The world is a complex place. Many factors are at play. We must be aware of these factors. We must work to find solutions. The stakes are high. A global war would be devastating. Dimon sees a bigger picture. The current conflicts are symptoms. They point to a larger problem. The world order is changing. The old order is fading. A new one is emerging. The old order arose after World War II. It was based on cooperation. Countries worked together. They followed international law. This brought decades of peace. But now this order is under attack. Russia and China are challenging the old order. They want to create their own rules. They are promoting a different vision. This vision is based on authoritarianism. It is a direct challenge to democracy. This shift has serious consequences. The world is becoming less stable. Conflict is more likely. Countries are competing for power. The old rules no longer apply. The future is uncertain. Nuclear war is a constant fear. Dimon believes it is our biggest threat. It is even more dangerous than climate change. Nuclear weapons are spreading. More countries are getting them. Arms control treaties are weakening. Countries are modernizing their arsenals. This is a recipe for disaster. The conflict between Israel and Hamas is a prime example. It could easily escalate. Nuclear powers could be drawn in. Nuclear war is unthinkable. Even a small conflict would be catastrophic. Millions would die. The environment would be poisoned. The consequences are unimaginable. We must work together. We must reduce nuclear stockpiles. We must prevent the spread of these weapons. Our survival depends on it. Dimon is not alone in his concerns. Many experts share his view. They see the warning signs. They draw parallels to the past. History is repeating itself. The world has seen 2 world wars. Both were catastrophic. They were caused by similar factors. Nationalism was on the rise. Countries were expanding their empires. Militarism was rampant. Economic competition was fierce. These factors are present today. Nationalism is surging. Countries are asserting themselves. Military spending is increasing. Economic tensions are high. The world is a tinderbox. A spark could ignite a global conflict. Section 5. Beyond Ukraine and Gaza, a broader geopolitical shift. The conflicts in Ukraine and Gaza are just the beginning. They are symptoms of a larger trend. The world is shifting, power is shifting, alliances are shifting. This is creating new tensions. The United States is no longer the sole superpower. China is rising. Russia is resurgent. These countries are challenging the US-led order. They want a bigger role on the world stage. This shift is creating instability. Old alliances are breaking down. New ones are forming. Countries are jockeying for position. The rules of the game are changing. This is a dangerous time. Section 6. The role of China and Russia, challenging the established order. China and Russia are key players. They are challenging the West. They are building up their militaries. They are expanding their influence. They are forming new partnerships. China is a rising economic power. It is also a military power. It is expanding its influence in Asia. It is challenging US dominance in the region. This is leading to tension. Russia is seeking to regain its lost glory. It is intervening in conflicts. It is meddling in elections. It is trying to weaken the West. It wants to restore its sphere of influence. This is a dangerous game. Section 7. The need for preparedness. Navigating an uncertain future. The future is uncertain. We must be prepared for anything. We must strengthen our defenses. We must build strong alliances. We must be ready to act. Cyber warfare is a growing threat. Countries are developing cyber weapons. These weapons can cripple infrastructure. They can disrupt economies. They can sow chaos. We must be prepared to defend ourselves. Terrorism is another threat. Terrorist groups are becoming more sophisticated. They are using new technologies. They are exploiting global networks. We must work together to combat terrorism. Section 8. Understanding the stakes. Why this matters for everyone. Global conflict affects us all. It does not matter where we live. War knows no boundaries. It brings death and destruction. It disrupts our lives. It destroys our economies. War creates refugees. Millions are displaced from their homes. They flee to other countries. They seek safety and shelter. This puts a strain on resources. It creates social tensions. War destroys the environment. It pollutes the air and water. It damages ecosystems. It leaves a lasting legacy of destruction. We must protect our planet. We must prevent war. Section 9. The power of diplomacy. Averting global catastrophe. Diplomacy is our best hope. We must engage in dialogue. We must find common ground. We must resolve our differences peacefully. War is not the answer. International organizations are essential. The United Nations is a vital forum. It brings countries together. It provides a platform for dialogue. We must strengthen the UN. We must support its work. Diplomacy is not easy. It requires patience. It requires compromise. But it is the only way. We must choose dialogue over violence. We must choose cooperation over conflict. Section 10. A call to action. Our shared responsibility. We all have a role to play. We must educate ourselves. We must understand the issues. We must hold our leaders accountable. We must demand peace. We must support organizations working for peace. There are many groups dedicated to this cause. They need our support. They need our voices. Together, we can make a difference. We must never give up hope. Peace is possible. It is within our reach. We must work for it. We must fight for it. We must never stop believing in it. Section 11. Towards a more peaceful future. Lessons from history. History has taught us valuable lessons. We must learn from the past. We must avoid the mistakes of previous generations. We must build a better future. We must promote tolerance. We must respect diversity. We must celebrate our common humanity. We are all connected. We are all part of one human family. We must work together. We must build a world based on peace, justice, and understanding. This is the only way forward. This is the only way to ensure our survival.